Welcome to the Disrupt Now podcast, episode 63.
Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe.
What makes people excited is progress. You don't have to be at the goal yet to feel alive again. You have to make progress.
Just do right. Right may not be expedient. It may not be profitable, but it will satisfy your soul.
What matters most is finding your inner purpose.
Disrupt Now, a coaching program and a podcast designed by entrepreneur and visionary Natalie Viglione. In this podcast, we bring together disruptors and life game changers that will help empower you to disrupt status quo in order to progress you towards the ultimate vision you have of your life. We'll explore alternative topics with our guests whom are global healers, meditation gurus, transformational life teachers and coaches, women entrepreneurs that are fighting to make this world a better place, and people in general that are disrupting industries from education, fashion, technology, art, health, and much more. Please join us on this journey to move humanity to a much higher level of consciousness and create more mindful conversations.
Hi, I'm Natalie Viglione, and I wanted to say thank you for being a listener on the Disrupt Now podcast. And if you haven't listened to it yet and you're watching the video, I would like to invite you to go explore and find the Disrupt Now podcast. I started it after a dream. It was brought to me, and I call this downloading from source. And that was a couple years back, a little more now, because it's almost 2021. And so that happened fast, I feel like. So it was probably 2.5 years ago, or more. So it's been a very exciting journey. And I'm doing a solo cast with me, myself, and I today because I want to talk about unleashing creativity. And I think that this is a really powerful conversation to have right now. And the reason I think that right now is a powerful time to go over this is because, well, there are a lot of things that keep your creativity at bay. And I can speak to my own problems with expressing my creativity many years ago. And to be held back by what you think is outside forces is incredibly, like, you feel very disempowered, you feel disenfranchised with your surroundings and potentially with the people that are around you. And it really makes you stop and think, okay, well, I know I'm creative, but, clearly these external things don't allow me to do that. So therefore, I'll push it to the wayside like it's not important. And that is where we stumble. That is when we start to lose our power. So I firmly believe that when we roll through these emotions of feeling undervalued or like we can't express ourselves, or feeling like you have creativity but you're not in touch with it, like you don't feel in tune with it. And the biggest thing that I've learned the hard way, and why I bring this into my work now. So I'm about life and business and guidance around these two things because they are intertwined 100%. Never are they ever separate. Ever, 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 ever. Even if you, well, maybe before 2020, you got up and you went to this place and you did these things during the day called a job, and you came home later and you did other things at home, and this rinse and repeat cycle of this style of living. And you get caught up in this program, right? And when we get stuck in that program, oftentimes we're not really paying attention to really big red flags that are seriously, going off in our peripheral vision that we're not looking at. We're very tunnel visioned. In fact, I think if you could see me for watching the video, then you're good. But for people just listening, like, I'm putting my hands over my eyes. Way too often, this is how people walk through life. And, I've done it for a heartbeat, and I walked into some major walls. Like walls that I didn't have to walk in. Now, you say, okay, well, of course you had to walk into those walls. It makes you who you are. Truth. Yes. However, what if we walked into situations with clarity? That would be a very large difference. And the walls that you hit would be less often. They would be different walls. And it would be a very different experience, therefore potentially pushing our evolution of our soul even farther. So unleashing your creativity doesn't, I firmly believe, based on grounded facts of seeing and watching and coaching people and seeing the people who do the hard work, that really do the hard work to step inside of their souls, to ask themselves, okay, why is this not showing up in my life? Why is this something that I feel really passionate about, like not something that is like, why is my life not allowing me to do this? And then the people that really ask those hard questions, and they ask why. Why? Well, why did I do that? Why did I do this? Why did they do that? Why did I react to that? What was my trigger? It's literally these series of questions. And what I see is that the people that move through those questions and move through all of that work that brings up shadows, those people evolve. They recognize, okay, clearly I'm in a pattern here. And the only thing that we have to do is recognize a pattern. I call it a looping bad habit, a looping cycle, right? Because the universe is going to smack you across whether it's your head or your ass, I don't know, whichever, pick one. And it's going to keep doing that until you wake up, what? Right? So where I like to roll things back, because I see what happens. So the people that don't do that work, they repeat the same cycle. It may have like a different, wrapper. It might involve some different people. It might, be in a different place. It might, I don't know. It might just look like it or seem like it's really different. But the truth of the matter is it's not. And those people I watched do the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and they expect different results. As we know, maybe he said it, maybe we're not entirely 100%. We don't know if it was Einstein, but pretty sure doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is literally the definition of insanity, right? So where I really focus in the Disrupt Now program, which is an online program, and I'm shooting content now and I'm kind of getting things situated to reboot it because a lot of things have changed this year and therefore it needs to evolve. And we need to become creative, to unleash our creativity, which, by the way, when I say creativity, I think that everybody's brain naturally goes to a painter, an artist, a an illustrator or, Rembrandt, like Van Gogh. Yes, those are creatives, but creativity is a myriad of different wonderful, beautiful things. Creativity is writing. Creativity is, and then within writing, there's writing, like I do copywriting, and I love to write about real life, and I love writing. I've always loved writing. I've also written poems. I know that I'll write a book, right, in my lifetime. So writing was always a creative outlet for me, even before I was quote unquote allowed to do it in my life. We'll touch on that in a second and go back to our previous point. But the fact of the matter here is that creativity is so many things. Creativity, yes, is painting, but it can also be building things, working with your hands, woodworking. My husband, Mark, is a fabulous maker. He's a builder, creator. Whether he's creating video or whether he's creating woodworking projects, like highly skilled. He's an engineer in his brain, right? And so creativity is also looking at, analyzing things, looking at strategy, being a visionary. Creativity is organizing. It's maybe, looking at a space and being able to put things together. Creativity, and I'm going to list that all out in the post that goes with this so that you can see a list, so you can remember that we shouldn't live in a box when we think of what creativity means. In fact, for me, I've always wanted to release things through paint. And I'm abstract. I'm taking a course slowly on illustration, trying to learn how to draw. It is extremely hard for me. However, you give me a canvas and a concept to work with in terms of nature especially, and I can abstract it. I can it's not going to be exactly a tree, but it's going to look very much like a tree. So that is my way of bringing my creativity through in that particular format. So we just have to just open the mind when you think of creativity, right? It could be like sewing, it could be, God, there's just so many things. And if we do open our minds in this regard, then we're allowing ourselves to be way more open-minded around what is possible, right? So let's go back to that point that I said when I felt like I wasn't allowed to do it. Okay. And this also hooks back into the original pieces that I was talking about, which is we look to external environments to give us the permission, right? Like, well, I can't do that because, I hear this often. I'm a mom, and I don't have time. I have kids. I have, my job isn't creative. So like, I don't get the opportunity. I don't feel like I can do it. These are all really amazing excuses, like totally amazing excuses, because they trick your brain into making you think that you aren't allowed to do that thing. Let me tell you right now, I want you to tell yourself to shut the F up. Kindly. Don't allow yourself to roll through these excuses that just keep you in this place. It makes us stuck, right? So the other thing that this does is when we put our power into something out there. I don't care what it is, whatever. And we say that this thing out there has more power than we do. What do you think happens? So we just did a complete reversal of giving our power away. Complete reversal of giving our power away. So therefore, what will not happen is you will not have clarity. You will not get closer to your purpose and feeling this flow that the universe provides. I call this energy at the end of the day, because we bring this through us. And if you are not living in flow with desires, values, you do not have clarity, you feel like all of your power lives out here and none of it is here, then what's going to happen is you keep giving your power away, and therefore you get farther and farther and farther and farther and farther away from purpose, and most of all, from your potential creativity. So unleashing your creativity really happens when we stop enslaving ourselves. It happens when we awaken to the fact that what really is within us is this possibility of all things, of magic, literal freaking magic, people. And I'm not talking about your stupid Vegas stage bullshit. I'm talking about literal magic, because what is power when it comes to creating, right? It's the ability to take a concept, an idea, to bring it to fruition, to make this come forth in some way and bring it forward into that format of creativity that you feel called to. That, my friends, is magic. And another piece of this is, what in the hell is going up all in this place, and if you're not watching the video, I'm pointing to my brain, right? We think that's where it all lies. Well, I can tell you right now that that's another misconception. The other misconception is that everything is here, but once you move into the heart space and start really connecting to like your intuition, and men and women, I'm speaking to you equally. This is where intuition lies, and this is how you can get more clear. So that is why this is a huge thing in my program for Disrupt Now, is because clarity gets you closer to awakening and discovering, not discovering out there, in here within you, discovering purpose, awakening it is what I really like to say, because it's always there. It's always been there, and you know it. I know that you know that. I sure as shit did. I definitely did, right? It was always there. It was like this gnawing thing, and I was like, oh no, but I didn't, I didn't know exactly how I was going to bring this to fruition. And then one day, I stopped enslaving myself. I said, all right, I know that I need to do this. I know that what's happening in my life right now, I know this corporate path, this life that I was living was just so not like jiving with my soul, like at all. It was so not jiving with it. And so I made the decision to just take a leap forward and go. Now here's the other thing. Another piece to unleashing massive creativity is seeing this world for what it really is. It's an illusion, okay? Your boundaries, the boundaries that we place ourselves in, becomes a prison, okay? We place ourselves in that prison. We enslave ourselves. And the only person that has the key is ourselves, right? So when you see it for what it is and you realize, okay, well, I'm really seriously creating my own prison because of the way I'm thinking, because of the way that I'm acting, how I'm attaching a thought to an action. Actions then become habits. So it's this loop, right? And if you see the truth and you can start resonating with your intuition to understand and see the patterns that you have yourself stuck in, if you can become more open-minded, if you can be more open-hearted, if you can see and start to deprogram yourself from all these belief systems that just, they can't serve you. If you want to unleash creativity, that is a big, huge piece to this process is letting go things in your life, whether it's belief systems, whether it's, people that are around you, whether it's friends, whatever, it doesn't matter. Part of this is shedding what really doesn't work for us anymore to be able to get to the place that we really want to be. And I think that it's really imperative right now, to understand the power that we all have. The power that we have when we embrace change, when we accept change, because that is how we transform. We transform only through change. That is called evolution. And so if you start to deprogram and you start seeing these and you start really resonating with truth, then you step away from fear. I'm a huge advocate for understanding fear for what it is. It's something that is inside of our brains. Many have, from the neuroscience world, have attached this to our amygdala, and it triggers because we feel like we're not safe about something. But the reality is that it may not be that we're not safe. It's just we are understanding that we're getting outside of a comfort zone, right? We have like this little comfort bubble. And as soon as we're stretching that bubble to try to get through to the other side, all these red flags in us start going ding, 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 ding. Hey, you're doing something that you have never done before. Not okay. Go back to where you were. Here's the difference between creatives that unleash their creativity and people that completely enslave themselves continuously. It is the ability to walk through anyway. Is it easy? Obviously not, right? Obviously not. And hardships? Yes. But fear blocks us from progress. It blocks us from unleashing the very creative power that you literally were born with, and so is I, and so is he, and so is she, blah, 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 blah. We can go on down the line all over the world because we actually were born to be powerful co-creators in this life. Let me say that again. We are co-creators of our reality, period. If you're putting all your power into something out there, you're never going to get to a freaking amazing place, because that is enslaving yourself inside of a prison and handing your power away. This is not the way. The way that we need to move forward in our existence to really powerfully connect and unify and collaborate and to stop the competition is to understand that when we unleash our creativity in whatever format that might be, because it's going to be different for everybody. You can give an artist, as an example, using that example that we used in the beginning, a piece of paper, we each have to, I'm an artist because because I identify with how I'm pushing my creativity through different outlets, right? So I, as an artist, am going to look at this canvas and I'm going to go, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do with this canvas, right? The artist next to me, if we have 50 of us in a room, you will not find one thing that's identical. See, and that is the beauty of creativity. That is the beauty of humanity. See, we always talk about how alike we all are. Yes, obviously. We're earthlings. We're humans, We have things that are very much similar threads that weave through lives, right? But where the magic lies and the power is in the differentiation, in the uniqueness, because when you put all of those artists together in one room and you put them together like puzzle pieces, they all fit. See, I have a vision and I firmly believe that every person on this planet is a puzzle piece. When you put us all together, it puts a magical, beautiful, amazing, huge mosaic together. How beautiful is that? So, yes, we are alike, but the beauty and the magic lies in our uniqueness and in our differentiation and the way that we bring and we unleash our own creativity in the world, the way that we're unleashing our purpose in the world. And so the biggest steps that I hone in on for the Disrupt Now, consciously create your life and business is the fact that we need clarity first. Clarity happens when you do the hard work to go within yourself. From clarity equals purpose. We start to unleash and awaken purpose within us. Flow. Starting to understand, okay, I get this. Now so many things are making sense. So many things. And then we start breaking down the walls and the enslavement, the prison that we created for ourselves, that starts falling away. And then we start moving into whatever unique, amazing creativity and unleashing that in the world. Step by step, bit by bit. That is absolutely beautiful. And then we know that we're not fearless, but we move through it. We move through it. Because that's living. And what I bring into my creative collective, the Team Goo side, which is business to business, is once a person's got into this place of understanding purpose, once you're there, right? And you're executing, you're activating, you're unleashing that you're in it, you're unleashing the creativity, right? Well, it should be as dynamic as we are. Like, it needs to always be evolving. When you're a co-creator, like, things are just clicking and you're just kind of like moving and it's like, wow, okay, like I'm moving in this, I'm expanding, I'm going, I'm moving. So this is a purposeful business. This is a purposeful, intentional way of living. And so in our business, in Team Goo, what we do is we take that, we magnify it through creative content, because expanding and expansion and growth, we need help to do it, period, in our businesses. We can only be solo for so long until we just knock ourselves, against the wall saying, I can't do this anymore, like our, banging our heads. And so then we, help with strategy. You need strategy. You got to have a plan, and you got to have operations. See, so while we're unleashing creativity and we're being kind of in this space of really good energy moving, like if you don't have that solid foundation of solidity in operations and how everything is working together, how are you getting your content out onto the world? How are you moving forward? If you don't have that, then honestly, all this stuff just keeps flying out, and you can create and create and create, and nothing is getting pushed out into the world, which is, by the way, a huge, a very, like, I can't even explain how sad that is, because the world wants that. It needs whatever you've got out there in it, because there is always someone seeking what you've got, but they don't know until, well, they know, and they see something, they catch air of something, right? So that's how I've driven value to people that we work with through the Team Goo side, on the business side, and now through Disrupt Now, to be able to help people. Because I realized what I was seeing so often is so many business owners were getting so clouded because they just started a business and they didn't do any of the work previous to that. And that causes massive problems at some point, period. Because the clarity didn't come, integration of idea, concept, all the things, the integration of the vision didn't work, it wasn't, that process wasn't there. Then through integration, it didn't get into this place of awakening purpose and attaching it with intention. And then with intention, it didn't move into this unleashing of the creativity of the power, moving through fear. It was just, there was no process. And I look at this like a process, because it is. It is. It really is. And without that, like, the other side can't be as beautiful, because there's so much work in here that has to be done first to get there. And it can take a day. It could take 5 minutes. I don't know. It depends on where a person is, right? And for me, it took one day I'll never forget, at a seminar. It wasn't really that. It was like freaking this amazing event. And it was an amazing experience. And it was for women, and there was about 400 of us together, and something just was like, whoa, okay, clicking, right? Sometimes all you need is just a little tap. Some people need a big push, and other people need literally a ginormous, like, kick to go over the cliff, So it really depends on where people are at within their journeys. So unleashing your creativity, it doesn't just happen. So if you've been trying to do it, like in this year, and you're just like, why is this not happening? It's because, remember, it's work, and it takes some cultivating and, like, pulling things up, rooting, and then deprogramming, and like looking at some ugly shit from your past, from your now, whatever. You got to look at the shadows just as much as you have to look at the potentiality, the light, right? The vision, the experience. We have to go into the darkness to be able to see that light. And that is that's natural law, because without looking at our shadows, we're never going to get into that space of being able to embrace, to accept, to transform through change. We're never going to, like, shed things that don't matter. We will keep ourselves stuck, and we can change our, look, I've been there. Like, you think, about 20 years ago, I thought, if you just move, like, everything can change. Well, the truth of the matter is that's 100% not true. Like, if you're not looking inside and you're not dealing with some of the baggage, shadows, really, then they come with you, man. Like, wherever we go, they come with us. So it's really about understanding and not shunning these darker places within us, these shadows, because these shadows are juxtapositioned against a lightness. And this is how we get to that purpose, how we get there, how we move into the flow. And I think that we move into the flow our entire lives, meaning it's not like you just do all this stuff, you start unleashing creativity and, like, all these things are amazing, and then all of a sudden you are in flow and you just stop. Life is about flow constantly. until we transition, until we leave this planet. And we go wherever that is that we go. And that is the cycle as well. So therefore, what fear should we have when we really think about why we're actually here, which is to actually live, awaken that purpose, unleash that freaking creativity that is like burning a hole in your stomach or your heart or wherever you feel it, right? So become a powerful co-creator. Remember your power. And this is really my message on this planet. If I could just, if I affect even just a small handful of people on this planet before I transition, I will be happy, because I don't want people to live in fear, because it's complete bullshit. That is not why we're here, to live in scarcity, to live in fear. Something's gonna, we can feel the fear. But you know what? There's another piece to this too, is that we never have to do things alone. And if you believe in yourself, if you believe and if you trust, then invest in yourself. Like, that's the investment that needs to happen. Investing in ourselves. Forget the freaking house with the white picket fence. Invest in yourself. Because materialistic items, at the end of the day, ain't going to go with you, but your experiences in this life will. And so it will with the people that were around you. So it is up to us to unleash our creativity. It is up to us to become conscious creators in our life. It is up to us to create and awaken purpose and unleash all the power and all the creativity that we hold within. And it is our power to then step into flow and just keep on riding that wave wherever that needs to go. I'll tell you that in my experience right now, that is where I'm at. I'm in flow, but I got to keep myself in it. And that means checking myself a lot. Checking myself, realigning myself, and getting back in flow. Checking myself, realigning myself, getting back into the flow. Looking at the shadow. Oh, I was triggered by that thing. Why was I triggered? Understand it. Check yourself, realign, step into the flow. So it's a constant, but the difference is that you're moving forward. I always think of this as like the EKG monitor at a hospital, which gives me the heebie-jeebies. But I always think of that. I think of what that does. Like the way it moves, it beeps and it moves forward. And that's an energy detector. Remember that. Energy. So we can put our energy into whatever we want. So it beeps, but it's moving forward as long as there's life, right? So we can feel like we're okay, up and down, up and down, up and down. We're living in this friggin' roller coaster, but that's cool because that's what life is. But we're still making progress. We're still moving forward. See, that's the difference. We're not stuck in this loop, in this one space, like going like this, round and round and round and round, making ourselves like sick for no reason. We can just step out of that and go like this, but at least we're moving forward, right? So now is the time to look at how you want to unleash your creativity. And there are so many programs and things to help. And, that is what I'm dedicating my business for. From Disrupt Now, from the Smart Start series, which is the online event series attached to that, because I wanted to bring in more teachers and guides from all over the world that could teach people different things that's not my unique gift, right? Because we need to be exposed to all these different things, all these different healing modalities and all this stuff, because we need access. And then in my business Team Goo, when I'm helping people that are in that flow kind of get situated and get straight and help them expand and grow, so it's all dedicated to the same kind of concept. So that really is life and business guidance, right? So see how that all integrates together? And did that come within like 5 minutes of receiving this information or bringing it to life? Hell no. It's taken like 2 years to get to this point of like, okay, integration. Yes, I see, right? So don't expect yourself to do something overnight like you're, again, I'm not talking about stage magic. I'm talking about like real life, this earth kind of magic, which is very different. It is not instantaneous. And this world that we've created that now is being torn apart, I say for the better, where we keep saying it's, overnight successes and like unicorns of, seriously, so over that shit. Because there is no pill. There is nothing that makes something magically go away. That is not how this universe works. So, friends, now is the time, and I just thought this was a very important topic to talk about because I think there's probably a lot of people that are really ready to unleash creativity, to really ready for all these things. And the best way that we can move through change is to step into it and start understanding how we can flow with it. Thank you for listening, and here is to being powerful co-creators. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and please, in the meantime, if you know anyone or you want to pitch your story, please get in touch with us at disruptnowprogram.com, or you can get in touch with me on Instagram at disruptwithnatalie. Of course, all the information is on our website. Again, thank you, and in the meantime, remember, no status quo.